Hello and welcome to Who It Could Have Been, where every single week we take a look at a famous actor or actress that was up for a big role, but for one reason or another they didn't quite get it. Would they have been better, worse, or astronomical?
Yeah, kind of like that time Demos auditioned to be Miss Lonely Heart's pharmacist.
I made a killing.
See, that completely changes the scene in the Matrix. You take the blue pill, you go to bed and wake up believing whatever you want to believe. You take the rabbit pill, the rabbit hole goes. Apparently the rabbit hole is 6 feet deep, bitch.
I probably should explain that the Miss Lonely Hearts reference is to a film called Rear Window, which we just happened to review before we filmed this episode. That's coming out later this month. And spoiler alert, Miss Lonely Hearts' dalliance with those pills doesn't end up the way you'd expect.
That's right.
But I think it's perfect that you open with a Hitchcock joke, because today we'll be talking about a Hitchcock film. Not only any Hitchcock film, my personal favorite, North by Northwest, starring Cary Grant, Eva Marie Saint, and James Mason, 1959 masterpiece. If you haven't seen it, you've definitely seen the scene of Cary Grant getting chased through a cornfield with a plane behind him. Or if you've watched Family Guy, they've practically remade the film.
Well, hey, on top of that, that's also the movie that showed us that if somebody gets stabbed in the back with a knife, that you don't pull it out and then stand in the middle of a airport holding the thing. But
no, not airport. The United Nations surrounded by photographers.
Thank you, sir. Much better. You're right.
You definitely need to check out our required viewing. It was one of the very first that we did. It was the very first Hitchcock film which we covered. One of us was 100% correct in their assessment of the film, but you should watch it and let us know. But tonight, I think that one thing you can agree is that Cary Grant is phenomenal in the film.
Yes.
So can you imagine a scenario where it wasn't Cary Grant as Roger O. Thornhill, Kyle?
No, I can't imagine that at all. Next question.
Jimmy Stewart.
You know, I was going to say that as a joke, but I mean, it's not surprising. Like, first of all, Jimmy Stewart is a commonplace option for Hitchcock films as well. Like, you know, it's one thing like, I'm standing here with a knife in the middle of the unit. I'm at the a knife. Oh God. I
think you just found a way to improve that scene.
No, joking aside, I mean, the look is there, right? As a matter of fact,
the vulnerability is there.
You beat me to it. The fact that Jimmy Stewart in no way looks like he could be a secret agent or an option to play James Bond like Cary Grant is, kind of makes Thornhill more believable with that vulnerability, right? Like that more wholesome quality. Like, there's no way this could stab a dude. But I see them pictures from the UN, so he had to have. You
need to watch some of Jimmy Stewart's westerns. How the West Was Won, where he throws an axe and spears the guy in the back.
Stop running. I hope you got the point.
Doesn't talk like that in all his movies.
I know.
I still find it really funny that Jimmy Stewart won his Academy Award for being a fast-talking reporter.
Yeah, in
a movie starring Cary Grant.
Yeah. Can I quote you on that, Mr. Thornhill? Listen, my fault is a lot of my exposure to Jimmy Stewart is also by way of Rich Little, the impressionist. So, Why
do you think I say so much? Because I was inspired by my hero, Jimmy Stewart.
That's right, bitches. I can't. I'm not prepared to say better, but successful. There are moments where he has to be smooth for Thornhill, and I'm not convinced that Jimmy Stewart can pull that off as well. Like doing things on the train with the blonde, not so much. Although he did do some cool things with the blonde and Vertigo in certain parts, so maybe there is credence there. I don't know, but yeah.
Jimmy Stewart would definitely have pulled it off, and he would have been fantastic. It still would have been a great film. But I think one of the entertaining aspects of North Northwest is taking Cary Grant, a character that is completely in control of his life, to the point that he's leaving notes that say "think thin." He is even when he's getting chased around the country by the police and rival spies, he still hits on a girl on a train.
A stranger on a train, no less.
A beautiful stranger on a train, not named Butch.
Right.
So taking this character who is in control and just tearing his world apart and turning it upside down, where he spirals out of control. Cary Grant, you don't need to explain too much. Just looking at him, you know that is the character. He conveys so much of it through himself. I could see why Hitchcock wanted to do this with Cary Grant. James Stewart really wanted to play it, and when they were making Vertigo, which is the film that preceded North by Northwest, Stewart was aware of Hitchcock's early work on the project, and there have been a few different explanations given over the years to why Stewart didn't get it. One of them being that Vertigo was a financial disappointment. One of them being that, connected to that first one, that maybe it was a disappointment because Stewart was too old at the time and wouldn't be as effective. The other explanation is that Hitchcock truly wanted Cary and that he delayed production of North by Northwest until Stewart booked another movie so he wouldn't feel bad about saying, I'm going with Cary.
That's hardcore right there.
Well, I mean, there are only two actors, A-list actors that Hitchcock worked on 4 times, and that was Stewart and Cary Grant.
Do you feel like when when Jimmy Stewart talks and when Alfred Hitchcock talk, they're like doing impressions of one another? Good evening. Hello.
That would be the slowest conversation.
Right? Here's
what is it? The sloth from Zootopia will be like, I found my people.
What about the sloth doing an impression of Jimmy Stewart doing an impression of Alfred Hitchcock? That's meta as hell.
Well, they had enough time to do a Godfather joke in that movie, because I know that all those 5-year-olds out there would have gotten that reference.
Okay, yeah, we're not doing the sloth joke. Moving on.
Please. Who it could have been? So it's supposed to be 10 minutes long, not 30. I think that we're in agreement. I think that we are in agreement that Jimmy Stewart would have been good in the role, but Cary Grant was ideal for the role.
The right guy got the part.
Yeah. I still think it would have been a great film, but I think that Cary just gives it that edge. And gives it the thematic, especially not just the edge, but gives it the thematic foundation to make that film more effective.
You're a thematic foundation.
That's why I have my own YouTube show.
That's right, bitch. What?